Today we are gonna go over some whiskeys that I am just not into anymore. And quite frankly, I am tired of buying them. Let's go! Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Carlos. Thank you for joining me here on the Whiskey Corner. I truly appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much for checking out the channel, checking out the video, and all your support. If you have not yet done so, please just do me a favor and subscribe. That is it. That'll really help me out, help out the channel, and will make you a cool person. Well, you're already a cool person because you're here, right? Now, you can do some more stuff if you are feeling generous. Like, comment, click that bell icon, check out the Patreon in the description. So today, we are going to talk about some bourbons that, quite frankly, I am sick and tired of buying. There's going to have to be something that blows me out of the water for me to even start buying them again. So let's get into this list. But first, let me tell you what I'm drinking. So I have a nice little pour here. Cheers. Smells good. That is good. And that is New Riff, bottled in bond. 30 bucks, 35 bucks, something around there. 100 proof, cannot go wrong with this. This is actually really good. And I'm gonna get this out of the way because it's kind of in the way of some bottles that I'm gonna show you. So let's get into our list. Much whiskey, so much bourbon out there, and quite frankly, I mean, it gets kind of tiring and very costly to just go out and just keep buying everything, right? And you know, I kind of had to take a step back and just sort of realize not all bourbon is worth my time or my money, right? Yes, you want to buy good bourbon, you want to buy this, you want to buy that, but what if there is good bourbon out there and you still don't want to buy it, right? Is that the essence of buying bourbon? Are you just going to buy it because it's good? Because other people say it's good. So, again, I put out my video, I'll put it up here, of my system to buying bourbon, which I kind of got off of when I did my last store haul. But in doing this system again, I came up with some bourbons that I'm just like, why am I buying these, right? So we'll go over some categories right now. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about, and let's get into it. So the first bourbon / whiskey category that I want to get into is whiskey or bourbon that is finished in wine, whether it's port wine, sherry, this and that. Guys, I have way too many of that. For example, this is just one of them, but this one is Doc Swinson's. Now this one is also finished in cognac cask, and I'm not saying that these are bad, right? Because all the ones that I have here, I actually do enjoy. I bought them, but I'm not gonna be buying anymore. I'm sorry. I think the last one that I actually bought, this one is sherry and cognac cask, by the way. The last one I actually bought that was finished was Midwinter's Night Dram, which that's finished in port barrels. But that's really it, guys. It's, you know, I don't know. I kind of took a look at what I have, and I really have a lot of sherry, port, what are some other ones? Mazzanura, cask, and I'm like, why do I have all of these, right? Yes, a lot of them are good, but I think I'm good with buying any more, right? So that's the first category that when I go to the store, quite honestly, if I see that it says sherry, Pedro Jimenez, any other type of wine, port wine, I'm just gonna stay clear of it. Next category is overly hyped budget bourbon. You probably already have an idea of some bourbons, whiskeys that will be on here. But if you need some reminders, Buffalo Trace, right? So I bought this bottle because I know towards the end of the year they come back everywhere here in my local area, and then you really don't see it again until like halfway through the year, and then again at the end of next year, right? So I just bought one just to have it here, but quite honestly, I probably shouldn't have bought it. It's not the best, right? At least for my palate. It's okay, but it's too overhyped. And quite honestly, that is one that, you know, unless I'm really, really fiending it, next time I go to buy it, next time that I'm out, if somebody has it, then yeah, I might buy it. But I have to have gone through this bottle and probably missed it for a while for that to even come back in my bar. Now, it's not just that one, right? Henry McKenna. There's a bunch of other ones that it's like, they're supposed to be budget bourbons. Weller Special Reserve, I get that in my area. Yes, it's difficult to find. I know where I can find it, and it's not all the time, but I am just done with buying those types of bourbons or whiskeys. For now, at least. That might change. Next category is new released bourbon that I've never tasted. So obviously the great thing about this bourbon community, this whiskey tube community, is that you support others, right? You watch their videos, you comment, you exchange ideas, notes, communicate. And with that said, if somebody else does a review of a new craft or new whiskey, you kind of want to try it, right? Because you take what they said to heart and you're like, okay, you know, this might be something that I'm also gonna like as well. Well, I'm kind of done with that as well, right? And I have one here that I'll put as an example. So while I love this one, this is actually already done. I'm using it as an infinity bottle because I want to see what pouring a few different whiskeys will do with this bourbon spire. But Oak and Eden, and this is a finished whiskey by the way, but not wine. Oak and Eden was one that I never really heard of, right? Until I went to a Total Wine. They were like, oh, this is limited, it's never coming back. Yeah, they lied, because it came back like a month later and now it's been there ever since. It was 50 bucks. I took a chance on it. In this case, I liked it, right? Not enough to buy it again for my bar, maybe at some point, but not right now. But overall, it was good. But that's not always the case, right? You sometimes buy some that are like, maybe I shouldn't have bought that, but I'm done with that, right? What I am trying to do is, if I haven't tasted something, somebody hasn't sent me a sample, if I didn't look up the tasting notes and actually see, or the smelling notes and see that they're the ones that I really truly like, I probably won't buy it, right? And right now, there's so many whiskeys and bourbons out that you're kind of overwhelmed, right? You don't know much about them, they don't disclose that much information, but they want to put that, you know, over 30 bucks type of price on it. So yeah, until I get more info on it, I'm gonna hold off on buying those types of whiskeys. All right, with that said, that kind of gets me to the next category. Been there, done that. A lot of these are that, right? Buffalo Trace, been there, done that. Oak and Eden, been there, done that, right? Because I've already tasted that one. I don't really care for the other expressions, sorry, Oak and Eden, but that didn't wow me that I'm like, oh, I need to go and try the other one. It was good, but it didn't blow me away, right? Yellowstone is one that I'm gonna use as an example. It is actually a single barrel, and it's actually pretty good. There's a store pick from Primo Liquor, shout out to them. But overall, Yellowstone, I've tasted it, it's okay, I like it. But once this is done, been there, done that, right? I'm probably not gonna buy another Yellowstone. Again, unless they blow me out the water with something, and this is excluding all their limited releases, but overall, if I've been there and done that and it didn't wow me that I need it back in my bar, I guess that's that. for that bourbon. Next category is a whiskey, but not a bourbon, and it is peated Scotch. Guys, I don't have to tell you, you probably already seen on some of the videos, I made a mistake when buying Compass Box Peat Monster, right? It was way too out there for me on the peated. I like Lagavulin, I like Lafroig, I like Ardbeg. This is a Lagavulin that I really like, the 11-year-old Offerman edition. But other than that, like, I know peat is like the new thing. Actually, it's not so new, but I know it's getting very popular right now. A lot of new peat Scotch whiskeys are coming out, and well, I get it. I'm just not a person that's like so much of a peat guy, right? Just like I'm not a rye guy, I'm not so much of a peat guy. I understand it. I do like a lot of the expressions, but it's not like I'm gonna go out there and just buy everything, right? I'm gonna be a little wary with my peat Scotches for now on after the debacle with Peat Monster, but overall, not saying that it's bad, but yes, I'm gonna chill, hang out on actually buying peat unless it's one of the ones that I know for sure that I like. Rye Whiskeys is the next category. Now, a lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but yes, I'm not a rye guy, and I've already expressed my not liking the Elijah Craig straight rye. You know, a lot of rye people do like it, but it's not for me, right? So that takes me to thinking, look, if I'm gonna buy a rye, I have to look at those notes, right? I know that I don't like ryes that are way too earthy, that go more towards the rye end. I like the ryes that are more low rye or have other notes, more bourbon notes mixed into it, kind of like a Boo rye. Those are the type of ryes that I like. I don't like that minciness, I don't like that earthiness and stuff, or maybe the floral. It's a little too much for me, right? So with that said, I'm going to be very careful. Not saying that I'm not gonna buy ryes, but I'm gonna be very careful what ryes I do get into my bar. So, which means doing a lot of research, doing a lot of tastings, I guess, before I actually buy it, and see what it is that I like. Will I like this going forward? So, you gotta find that store near you that has those different types of whiskeys that you can try, like Primo Liquors always has a big bar that you can try out their offerings. So I might do that before actually investing the money in a rye. Now, this one only cost me 30 bucks, so it's not, you know, it's not the end of the world that I lost those 30 bucks, but yeah, if it would have been something more, like for example, Alberta Premium Cask Strength, I didn't like it. That was like 70 bucks, I think. So 70 plus 30, that's 100 bucks. That could have bought me a really good bourbon. But either way, I digress. And that is my little, I guess, emphasis on doing more research on the ryes. Again, not that I'm not gonna buy them, but I'm gonna be very careful. Lastly, guys, this is one that I'm not gonna talk about too much because just like the ryes, it's more of a caveat and it's on a scale, right? Brand new whiskeys, craft whiskeys that I've never tasted. I want to kind of put that in its own little separate category because while that could be the same category that I said about trying stuff without buying stuff without even trying it, it's not, because it's more craft distilleries, right? But I do want to try some craft distilleries. For example, Sealbacks has a whole bunch of them, and I just bought a Fiddler Georgia Heartwood that's amazing, which is a distillery in Georgia. And you know, if I didn't see the reviews or see the tasting notes on it, if I just follow the rule of not buying any of these craft whiskeys, then I wouldn't have bought that. But either way, I'll put it on here as a small little caveat because I want to know a little bit about it first before just buying it willy-nilly type of thing. Well, those are my categories. That is what I am going to be careful about buying right now, or quite honestly not even look for, spend my money on. Let me know what you guys would do on your end. Are any of these on your list to not buy? Are any of these ones that you're weary about as well? Let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe. Do me that favor. Subscribe, not subscribe, but do me that favor and that will really help me out. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this and I want you to enjoy that whiskey. Cheers.